Family, the track we're about to interact with right now was brought to my attention via a donation from one of our subscribers. Now, if you want to recommend a song, the link to the PayPal is going to be in the description below because, of course, YouTube yanks 30% of super chats. Guys, I appreciate, as always, your open, curious attention. Back to the video.
I knew one day I'd have to watch powerful men burn the world down. I just didn't expect them to be such losers.
I have never seen submission embodied half so well as in the feeble competition between men with souls to sell, and I've never...
Ooh, God. Can you just take it easy for a second before you just drop bars like that? That line was so crucial. Listen to that first line.
I have never seen submission embodied half so well as in the feeble competition between men with souls to sell.
I've never seen submission embodied half so well as in the feeble competition between men with souls to sell. What are they submitting to? Men with souls to sell submit. Right? And the thing is, they project dominance. They want everything else to submit to them. And I guess from one level, it appears that everything does. You know, you have the alpha in the room and everything submits to him. But submission is embodied by that person because they've submitted to a life that the child version of themselves would be ashamed of. Right? They've submitted to a life chasing the future. Right? They've completely given up the present. Man, that was a powerful first line.
Bodied half so well as in the feeble competition between men with souls to sell, and I've never seen a god dog with less fearsome of a bite than with its tail between its legs found at the rich man's side. Look at him, he's sweating from the climb office work, a soldier CEO, he's bleeding and he's blind, and I have never seen a creature more pitiful than him. He drinks power like salt water, all because he cannot swim.
He drinks power like salt water, all because he cannot swim. Man, am I going to have to spend some time digesting these lyrics. But I ultimately I agree. I think Ren said one time, does God sit on a throne or does he wear sandals, down on the earth? Is he humble or is he, high and lifted up? And what's interesting is that people who realize that this is all just a big game that we're playing, they can look at those who are rich, super rich, just say, look, what are you missing out on?
For than him, he drinks power like salt water, all because he cannot swim. Mouths open, serve a higher power. They told him it's a staircase, it's a tower. Full circle, wagging tails, wearing a collar. Poor madman, that's what happens when you drink salt water.
Drinking salt water. Yeah. Salt water is the perfect symbol of reciprocal narrowing, right? Because you're drinking it to hydrate yourself, and that just creates more thirst. It's like, climbing that corporate ladder, right?
Find your tongue too early and realize too late the tragedy of losing the thing you'll never taste. The clearness of the river, the honey on her tongue, door open to communion, being your father's son. And I would not expect you to witness what we know. The song sung in the dark times, the fire and the snow. We'll be piling up our pyre, and you defend your lords, and we'll have our joy, but it will never be ours. Mouths open, servants of a higher power. They told him it's a staircase, it's a tower.
So what is she representing here? With that very, very creepy, does she represent death? Does she represent the lifelessness of exchanging the present for some ever receding future? Let me know in the comments. Even the dogs know not to drink salt water is a gangster line, right? Even Jesus said, look, consider the birds of the air, consider the bees, right? Right? Humans are a very, very strange species.
Good boy, you're working exactly as intended. Has the penny dropped, you're never gonna get it. Unrewarded for all of your defending from your loneliness epidemic. Good boy, there's plenty if the money trickled down, yeah. You say one day you'll be rich, but tell me how then. Unpaid marketing department for the power. Good boy, good boy.
Guys, to all the people who are chasing, right? Or who have spent time, trying to rise, up to, the corporate ladder or some promise of success, the American dream, whatever it is. It's important to, while observing the hilarity or the absurdity of that kind of chase, understand that there's a trauma feeding it. I don't think that concept is lost on this particular artist, that there is something, it's like maybe it's a dad that they could never impress as children, and now they're spending the rest of their lives trying to impress that father who was always over disciplinary and never satisfied with the accomplishments, right? That corporate CEO, that climber, they're trying to fill some void. Barking dogs have now been incorporated into the music. Guys, I'm going to have to listen to this a second time to see where that transition actually came in. I hear barking dogs like in the music now. Oh no, he can't go out like that. My man really went out like that. Wow. Yeah, your life can end very early if you dedicate it completely to and look, the credits are rolling. It was a whole movie. That was called Good Boy by Paris Paloma. Yo.